Mr. Kunal is a seasoned healthcare entrepreneur, visionary leader, and public policy advocate with over 20 years of experience in healthcare, transformation, entrepreneurship, and innovation in the US and India. Mr. Kunal Jain is the founder of Practiceforces, a leading US based healthcare consulting and revenue cycle management company. He brings deep expertise at the intersection of healthcare, technology, and policy. Mr. Jain holds an MBA in Social Entrepreneurship from the University of South Florida, Executive Education in Global Healthcare Innovation from Harvard, and also a certification in AI and Healthcare from MIT. Mr. Jain continues to mentor entrepreneurs and explore how AI and emerging technologies can unlock the future opportunities for India and beyond. So the stage is all yours, sir.
Fantastic. And I'm glad that I'm able to connect with you guys. So let me tell you something which is, and I understand you all are probably, you are doing your graduation, you are in your best time of your life, and you are on the verge of picking your best choice for the career ahead in front of you. And I think that is the most complex decision for anybody, especially when they are at your age, to decide whether you want to start or launch your own business, you want to pick up a career of your choice as a job, as an employment, or what way you want to do. Am I right? You all are at that juncture at this moment, right? आप लोग सब ये डिसाइड करने वाले होंगे, कुछ ने कर लिया होगा, कुछ करने जा रहे होंगे कि हमको आगे अभी लाइफ में क्या करना है. Before we move ahead, you want to know, you want to decide in your career why you want to learn AI. That is the first and foremost thing, because I know we all are excited talking about AI. The whole world is talking about AI. And this reminds me of this wonderful quote by Simon Sinek. He says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. I'll give you an example. You all want to learn AI. You want to learn AI as a tool to accomplish something, or you want to learn AI because you have a passion for learning and it doesn't harm learning something new, right? So you have to decide first. People, suppose you want to start a startup. You have a purpose. So somebody wanted to start a pizza chain, and I'll give you this example of pizza chain because we have an incubation center here. And one guy, he was so excited. He was an engineer, computer engineer, but he likes cooking. So he came to me and he said, I want to use AI. I want to use this, but I don't want to use this for my career. I want to start a pizza chain. And with pizza chain, I want to use AI. And I was I said, I have never heard anybody using AI for running a pizza chain. And he said, I just want to do it because this is my passion and it is my purpose. So I asked him why you want to do it and why you want to do it. So he says, I have been working in a place where we have our company. We have like thousands of employees. We have Infosys office there. We have Wipro office there. We have Tata Consulting Services here. But since it is a software export zone, there are not any good restaurants out there. He said, we work 16, 17 hours in our companies. We have places where we can order food, but we don't find a good pizza place. So I want to launch a concept where we can supply a good food and using AI. And I said, why do you want to use AI? And he says, because we do not have much time. Our breaks are very less, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, at the max 30 minutes. And if we use to walk from one place to another place just to go and have our lunches is going to take a lot of time. So he had 10 different reasons. So I continue to ask him, why you want to do this? Why you want to do this? So when you really ask why, then you come up with the question that this is the purpose. You want to accomplish something. You have to have a purpose. So for today's conversation, I'm going to tell you the basics of AI, why you want to use AI, and how AI is going to help in your startup journey or entrepreneurial journey if you want to move forward in particular one direction. Is that okay? Everybody can hear me all right? Ishita, you would be my
Yes,
key. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. So, so this is the one thing which you all want to learn first and foremost, that you want to find out why you want to make your career, why you want to learn AI, and how you can use AI for your startup or entrepreneurial journey. Now, before you learn AI, there are three things which I want you to learn. And I hope some of you might have learned the definition of AI. But here, this is what I want you to do. I want you to understand or remember three B's. Three B's, not B's, three B's. The first one, why we need AI now. We have been talking about machine learning for a long, long time. I remember when I moved to United States in 2003, internet started at that time. After fast forward 10 years, by 2013, we had big data. How many of you have really heard about big data? You must have heard about big data. It used to be 10 years ago. Everybody was talking about big data. And then there was one more thing which came, which was called, I think, big data. And there was one more technology which arrived. And then suddenly we find that,
blockchain.
oh, huh? Blockchain, you are right.
Yes.
Blockchain arrived. Everybody was talking about blockchain. Thank you. So, big data now when we talk about AI, this is the first B you want to learn. The reason why people are talking about, the whole world is talking about, because since the inception of internet, which is almost in India, you can say 2004, 2005, but in United States, it came in 1996, 97, 99, it became commercialized and everybody started using dial-up connection. By 2001 and 2, they had DSL and then they had a good, fast internet connections, the DSL it used to be called. So from that day, not even India, but at least I can talk about in America, people started using computers. And when people started using computers, they started entering data. Now, the data has several forms. What you see today, Amazon Alexa, Siri, any other kind of, we'll talk about those examples. That's an extreme level of advancement in big data. I'm talking about when we started simply using Windows and entering the data. Now, Now it is the time when the data sizes and the data is so humongous that it calls for some kind of analysis. So that's the first to be. You have what it takes as an ingredient to use AI. And then the first ingredient, the first factor is big data. And we have that available. Not only in India, it came late, but all over the world, it came much earlier. So we have that one thing which is called big data, which is absolutely necessary to start thinking about using AI. Second thing, you want to talk about supercomputing, or I call it big computing. We have the power of computers and we have the computation power, which is available right now in our hand to process all of that big data. Earlier, it was not available. Yeah, but earlier, even if it was available only for NASA or very, very high complex systems where you needed a supercomputers. But now we have big computing power available in our hand. And that is why the second thing, which is most important before you know about AI, everybody is okay? Big computing, big computing. The third thing we want to know about big, deep neural networks. And that is a little bit complex, but let me explain you what it is. Very easy. Just the way your brain works, just the way your brain works, just the way inside your brain you have a lot of neurons, right? We call it neurons, brain neurons. So similarly, when we talk about the networks, when the big data started, internet started, big computing started, all of this has created huge, humongous networks all over the world, peer-to-peer network, different type of networks. And now, when we are talking about deep neural networks, what it does is exactly the same thing by processing that big data, converts it into an outcome. And that outcome, we'll talk about it, but in a simple example, how many of you use Siri, right? How many of you use Alexa? How many of you use, there are different type of deep neural connections. Even computer vision, X-rays, face recognition, medical imaging, self-driving cars. They all are the examples of deep neural networks where you have a big data, you have big computing, it's processing all of that data, and it is converting all of that input into an output, and that output is resulting into some kind of application which we are able to use. And those application could be, we'll take an example of computer vision later on, but that example will stay. So stay with me for this computer vision because that is the most advanced form of deep neural networks which is available in our hand at this moment. And we'll take the example of healthcare throughout my presentation. We understood the three factors that enable deep learning. That's why. So we talked about why we need it, three B's, and that enables deep neural networks. And now we are talking about the application of DNNs. And these are the applications when we talk about, facial recognition. When we see our Siri, our phone, it recognizes our face, our eyes, all of that. Medical imaging. Now, uh, the example which I wanted to give you about medical imaging is, let's say, and this example I give most of the time, that I'm sure you all are adults, right? You all are like above 18. I don't want to use any example which probably, it annoys you, but breast cancer. Breast cancer is a common problem for many, many years. All over the world, people are doing research on breast cancer. In America, what MIT did, and it was one of the things which in our case study, they they take two samples of two women in their early 50s. They took their MRIs, and then their MRIs came exactly same, no changes. But after 5 years, one of those women developed a breast cancer. Now, 5 years ago, when the MRI was taken, they were fine. There was no problem. But after 5 years, one of them developed a breast cancer. Now, after that, they started giving her medication. But her symptoms of breast cancer might have developed much before, but bare eyes or X-rays or MRI technology, which was available 5 years ago, could not identify it. Now we have cameras, now we have medical imaging available, that if that medical imaging see the two pictures of those breasts, they can identify that this person probably will have more chances of developing a breast cancer after 5 years. So, what is this essentially that medical imaging device is doing? It's using DNN or machine learning to read the data, human anatomy, in a much more deep way, which our eyes, bare eyes, cannot read it. And that is the power of AI. And that will change the humanity. Now, think about, I used to have a Tesla car uh, 5 years ago, and that had a self-driving feature in US. But at that time, they did not allow self-driving cars, 5 years ago I'm talking about, to go on the road. So they asked people to use their traditional hand-driven. So Although my car had a feature of self-driving, but I used to hold the steering. I can I can leave the steering for 30 seconds and see that car drives by itself, but I can't leave it more than 30 seconds. Now, after 5 years, in California, they started running self-driving cars. There are three companies who have their cars, they're running without drivers. It's happening right now. And this is the example of computer vision because what do these cars have which a man don't have? So I have only two eyes, you have two eyes, but these cars have 15 cameras, 16 cameras. This entire car is made of camera. So it has the entire 360-degree angle view, which is much better than a human eye. And that gives the power of AI to solve the problem that that car is much more safer than a car driven by a human being. And that is the power of computer vision. So that's the DNN we are talking about, how these deep neural networks is surpassing a human brain and generating a better outcome. How are we doing? Good? Now let's talk about what is NLP, natural language processing, because I'm sure you guys must have gone through all of these things during your, if you are a computer science student, I'm guessing this is a part of your kind of curriculum. I'm just guessing it is right. Okay. So I would then go, is it so that I can go fast forward or we are enjoying it? Okay. So think about chatbots, think about translation. Nowadays, whatever I am speaking in English, or somebody, an American who is speaking in English and doesn't know any other language, he doesn't need to know any other language. There are AI tools available which can translate my voice in real time as a live to speak and convert into the closest way my language or my accent in a Hindi form. Very close. And I was actually seeing a video. I bought an online class. It was in Hindi and English both. So I thought that the speaker would speak in Hindi or in English, but what he was actually speaking in French, and his native language was French, but his videos were available in both Hindi and English. Same thing, I think Sadhguru is using, if you have heard Sadhguru's videos, a lot of his videos are being now transcribed by AI. And you can see that his videos are coming now in Hindi. So that is, and the one thing which initially machine learning was not able to do was sentiment analysis, that it doesn't identify my behavior or my intentions or how I'm speaking, if I'm angry or if I'm happy, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, or I'm sad. But now with these natural language processing tools which we have available now, they can actually identify uh, through your tone how you are able to what you actually mean when you're speaking in the same language. So that is the difference NLP is making. So again, this is one of the example. Speech recognition, we all use Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, very simple. Same thing. Think about 6 billion people on this earth. AI is recognizing all of our voices in different languages, in Hindi, English, all kind of regional languages. What will happen? Where is the opportunity? Tremendous amount of opportunity we have in front of us if we want to create a difference. So the reason I'm telling you all of this is because you guys are young. You guys know what you want to do in your life. A job of a teacher or a mentor at this moment is to give you a tool. We can only ignite a dream, but you have to put a fire into it. Because you know what's there in your mind, you know your passion, you know why you want to do it. Again, this AI, artificial, I mean, earlier it was big data, now AI, internet, all of these are the tools, but ultimately They're very powerful tool. But you have to decide as an entrepreneur, as a startup, how you want to use that tool to accomplish your dreams. So again, Netflix. Why Netflix? I mean, it's almost $1 trillion valuation of that company. There are very handful of companies which are going at that direction, other than Apple, Microsoft, and Uber, biggest transportation company in the world without having a single car in their own. It is not bought. They don't buy any cars. All of the cars are just on their network. Now think about 1 second. How much data Uber would have? It's almost what, 6, 7 years Uber is operational. They know exactly, they have data more than any GPS satellite data would have. So they know exactly which person leaves his house at what time, reaches at his office till what time, the behavior pattern of the person who's taking transportation, why he's taking transportation, how many times somebody goes to the club in a week, what kind of they have all kind of behavioral data in with them. Just like the same data was available with Amazon for last 20 years since Amazon came into the picture. All of that data you have an opportunity to convert into machine learning and use it to accomplish some of your purposes. So, same thing, YouTube, amazing amount of big data. All of these examples you can see, the first thing which they have is the very first thing we talked about is big data. What will future hold? In the future, where are the big things which is coming? Fraud detection, because all of those things comes with the some of the things which humanity may not like it. So we do attract frauds, we do attract spam, we do see people scamming each other using internet tools. So there are checks and balances, but there is the technology which is going to be available, or you have an opportunity to build one if you use some of those AI tools. One of the biggest one is stock market prediction. I love this one because humans have a limitation to predict the stock market, but with machine learning, and I remember using one of the tools in US. Those tools are not available in India, but I think now they are coming up. Trendy line, there is one tool which I know people use a lot. You can almost predict, AI can predict how the stock market is going to perform for next 30 days or next 6 months, and that is going to be a big one. People who wants to really solve some real life problem, then prediction or fraud detection would be one of the things which you would love to solve. And astrology, I mean, think about it. I mean, people are using AI now better than humans, who can do all of these calculations and math and kind of understanding how the prediction of your charts and astrology, which is going to work, just to predict your future, I mean, to your life future. So a lot of those things which are coming up, and all of these ideas, all of those things opens up the doors of opportunity for you. Now, so far I gave you a little kind of rundown how this AI will open the doors for you as an opportunity. But what I want you guys to understand, there are three basic things. Those three B's were fundamental factors that make AI. Now, before you implement AI, I want you to do these, to implement these three more things. So, three B's, they were the three factors that enable deep learning, DNNs. Now, I'll give you three things before you learn AI or take advanced courses. You want to know how this big data works. So, we will go a little bit in deep detail how this works. So, the first and foremost thing is foundation of data and logic. Now, by the way, let me tell you, the slide you see, it's all made by AI, and I'll show you how I made it by AI. How many of you use Microsoft PowerPoint? And in PowerPoint, there is a new feature called Copilot now. You all can use Copilot and make these beautiful sites like in 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And that's the power of AI. And that is a very, very basic function of AI. Um, so when we talk about the data and logic, I'll give you one scenario which will basically. So in India, if you see last 5 years, people are talking about healthcare. In US, healthcare is 50-year old, and they have a data available for last 50 year, a computerized data for at least last 35 years. Now, what is the difference? A structured versus unstructured data. I'll give you a very basic example. So this is a piece of paper, right? If I scan this piece of paper and create an image of it, that will leave it as unstructured data. You get it? Because it is a scanned piece of document, whatever is handwritten, somebody, a machine has to read it and then convert it into a structured data in order for me or any machine learning to analyze it. Now, in US for last 20-25 years, we have been using data to operate in the computer. So if a patient is seen by a doctor, earlier 20 years ago when there was no EMR, doctors used to dictate. They used to dictate about the patient, hey, this is 56-year-old patient. He seems to have a collateral cancer. He might have um, it's, what does it say? So, petka cancer. Okay. Colon cancer. Here you go. Perfect. I got it. Okay. He might have a colon cancer. And because of that, he's seen today. And I have given so many medicines. And I asked the patient to see me after 3 months. What did it do? What did he do? He recorded his voice. That voice goes to his transcriptionist, and that transcriptionist used to type and send that data in a digital form. And what did it create? It created a structured data. You see the difference? A structured data and unstructured data. In India, our government has been talking about EMR, electronic medical records, but they could not figure out, or people who are using electronic medical records, for them, scanning a document means EMR, but it is not. And that understanding we have to understand, and that creates a geographical limitation of understanding of a public policy. In America, they got it. It took them some time, but they got it from the very beginning, that computer operated data entry. We called it COPD, computer operated data entry. Here, scanning is called computer operated data entry, but it is not. So over a period of time, last 30-35 years, in US, big data is huge. And that's the reason they could use all of that data for research purposes. And all of that data is available for AI, for open AI, or for people like who invented open AI. All of that data was available for them to analyze it, to use it as DNN. So India just started developing all of that data. A lot of our data is being structured now. People are using structured data entry. They're doing some of the things, but it will take some time. But I wanted you to understand the data and the logic. Now, the same logic, if you have a good big data, you can put a good logic in it. So the basics of probability and statistics to predict something would be much better if you have a structured data. So in an example of that predicting breast cancer, they were able to use that data at MIT and predict the possibility of having a cancer or developing a cancer after 5 years was much more um, predictable than We would use in India the same methodology, same technology, but our outcome may not create the same prediction. And that is why the data and the logic is so important. When you build a solution using AI, your focus should be first to find out that what kind of data you are working on. The better the data is, the more refined the data is, the probability of success and probability of a better outcome is much more higher. And then we talk about logical reasoning. What is logical reasoning? And I'll give you an example, idea discovery. I call it, this is my most favorite thing, logical reasoning. Idea discovery is one of the things, you all are young people. You come up with a new idea every day. You say, oh, this is a fantastic idea. I would start my own Uber. I would start my own dating service. I would do something like this. I would do this. Every day you come up with new idea. Have you ever thought, would that idea viable or not? आइडिया आपने सोचा, आपने कहा भाई मेरे को ये आइडिया आया, मेरे को ये आइडिया करना है, आइडिया बहुत बढ़िया, कोई और नहीं कर रहा इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूं. बट अगेन गो बैक टू द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाई? आप ये आइडिया क्यों करना चाहते हैं? आपका कोई आइडिया है, आप ये आइडिया क्यों करना चाहते हैं? उस आइडिया की सक्सेस प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी है कि वो चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा? क्वेश्चन ये है. वहां आपको अपना एक बार क्रिएटिव हेड जो है ना, क्रिएटिव हेड, उसको हटाओ और लॉजिकल रीजनिंग सोचो कि इसका क्या तरीका हो सकता है कि द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ बीइंग सक्सेसफुल एज माय आइडिया वुड बी मच हायर देन व्हाट आई हैव नाउ. उसका एक तरीका होता है, उसको बोलते हैं आइडिया डिस्कवरी प्रोसेस. उसको दूसरा तरीका होता है प्रॉब्लम प्रोग्नोसिस. एमबीए के अगर कोई स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो वो शायद समझेंगे मैं क्या कह रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं आपको इसका तरीका बता सकता हूं कि जहां आपका आइडिया डिस्कवरी और प्रॉब्लम प्रोग्नोसिस, आप ऑलमोस्ट सर्टेन हो सकते हो कि हाँ ये मेरा आइडिया चल सकता है. और दैट प्रॉब्लम प्रोग्नोसिस, उसका एग्जांपल बहुत सिंपल है. सपोज यू गो टू अ डॉक्टर. आप उसको क्या बोलते हैं? आप उसको ये तो नहीं बोलते ना कि मेरे पेट में कैंसर है. ये तो डॉक्टर का काम है फाइंड आउट करना कि आपके पेट में कैंसर है. डॉक्टर आपसे क्या पूछता है? डॉक्टर आपसे सवाल पूछता है, क्या हो रहा है? आप कहते हो कि पेट में दर्द है. कहाँ है? कौन से एरिया में है? किस हाथ में है? छोटी में है, बड़ी में है? ये सारी चीजें कौन करता है? दिस इज कॉल्ड डिस्कवरी प्रोसेस. A doctor find out, touches your body, sees at different places, ask 10,000 questions from you. आधा घंटा लगाता है आपके ऊपर, पूरा आपसे पूछ लेता है. उसके बाद में भी इफ ही इज नॉट श्योर तो वो आपको डायग्नोस्टिक के लिए भेज देता है. ब्लड टेस्ट होते हैं, एक्सरे होती है, एमआरआई होती है, सब कुछ होने लग गई आजकल, तो पहले के जमाने में नहीं होती थी. बट दिस इज ऑल डिस्कवरी प्रोसेस गोइंग ऑन. देन ही कम्स अप विद अ पोटेंशियल पॉसिबिलिटी कि हो सकता है कि आपके पेट में देर इज appendicitis that is causing you a pain, or there may be, you might have to go for more deep diagnostic to find out if it is a colon cancer or not, or do certain other things. That whole discovery process you can do in your startup phase, and I will tell you how. Startup phase, what did he do? He basically asked 10,000 questions from you, right? You can ask the same question from the person whose problem you are trying to solve using your idea. आज आप जो 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 लड़का मेरे पास में आया, जो who was going through my mentoring, हमारे इंक्यूबेशन में था, उसको पिज्जा की दुकान खोलनी थी. कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग कर रहा है, 4th ईयर में है, लेकिन उसको पिज्जा की दुकान खोलनी है. उसको क्यों? वो ही फेल्ट सो स्ट्रांग अबाउट इट कि हमको यहाँ पे इतने हजारों वर्कर्स हैं, उनको खाने को नहीं मिलता, और दे आर हंग्री, they don't work properly. So I want to provide this facility to them that they can go on computer, go on my website, order something, and within 15 minutes I will bring the food on their table. They don't have to waste time. अगर ऐसा हो जाए तो मैं ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिव हो जाऊंगा. मैंने कहा जोमेटो काम में ले लो. बोलते जोमेटो को 15 मिनट का सिस्टम नहीं, जोमेटो में मिनिमम आधा घंटा लगता है. फिर उसने ये पता किया, मैंने कहा तो इसकी तुम आइडिया डिस्कवरी करो कि ये चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा। तो उसने कहा क्या करूं? मैंने कहा एक क्वेश्चनेयर बनाओ आप। उस क्वेश्चनेयर में आपको जो जो लगता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, अब आपको लगता है, आप अपने दिमाग में सोच रहे हो कि ये प्रॉब्लम मेरी है, कि मुझे 15 मिनट में खाना चाहिए। भाई अगले कोई जो दूसरा बंदा है उसको आधे घंटे का ब्रेक मिलता है, 45 मिनट का, वो 5 मिनट वॉक करके ले आता है, या वो जोमेटो से ऑर्डर कर लेता है। उसको ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ये हो सकता है प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारी हो, सिर्फ बाकियों की नहीं हो। तो इंटरव्यू दोस पोटेंशियल कस्टमर्स या पीपल जिनका आपको लगता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम वो लोग भी पोटेंशियली फेस कर रहे होंगे। इट इज कॉल्ड सर्वे सैंपल साइज, कि यू फिगर आउट, कम अप विथ 10 क्वेश्चंस जो तुम्हारे दिमाग में, जिसकी वजह से तुम्हें लगता है ये प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारी है। वही 10 क्वेश्चन उन लोगों से पूछो, 10 लोगों से जो तुम्हारे आसपास है, फ्रेंड्स, फैमिलीज, पीपल हु आर फेसिंग द सेम प्रॉब्लम अराउंड यू। अब अगर तुम्हारा एक इंस्टीट्यूट है जिसमें अभी लोग 53 स्टूडेंट्स राइट नाउ, राइट इन दिस क्लास, आपके पास में कोई एक ऐसा आइडिया है जो सबको इंपैक्ट करता है, आप उन सबके पास में जाइए। और आजकल तो फिजिकली भी जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। यू कैन क्रिएट अ पोल यूजिंग लिंक्डइन, यू कैन क्रिएट अ पोल यूजिंग फ्री सॉफ्टवेयर टूल्स, डिफरेंट सर्वे मंकी है, और भी बहुत सारे टूल्स हैं जो अवेलेबल हैं। आप क्वेश्चनेयर बनाइए, जो प्रॉब्लम आपको लगती है आप उनको सोल्यूशन मत दीजिए। दिस इज अ आइडिया डिस्कवरी, प्रॉब्लम प्रोग्नोसिस, कि आपकी प्रॉब्लम सही है कि नहीं है जो आप सोच रहे हैं। वंस आप फिगर आउट कर लेंगे कि आपकी प्रॉब्लम 50% और मोर लोग, जिस ग्रुप में आपने अगर 100 लोगों को सर्वे किया है, तो 51% और मोर पीपल कम बैक एंड से कि भाई जो तुम सोच रहे हो वो सही सोच रहे हो, मेरी भी प्रॉब्लम यही है। दैट विल गिव यू लिटिल बिट सपोर्ट कि हाँ मैं जो सोच रहा हूं वो सही है। अगर 51% और मोर सपोर्ट नहीं है, डेमोक्रेटिक सपोर्ट आपके पास में, और कम है, तो यू गो बैक टू योर प्रॉब्लम और उनसे ये सवाल पूछो कि अगर ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती और दूसरी प्रॉब्लम होती तो दो प्रॉब्लम, तो आपको कौन सी प्रॉब्लम आपको ज्यादा है। तो आपके उन जो 100 लोग जो आपके पास में हैं सर्वे सैंपल साइज में, दोज आर योर पोटेंशियल कस्टमर्स। उनमें से कोशिश करो कि कितने लोग हैं जो आपके प्रॉब्लम, उनकी भी प्रॉब्लम है, और उस प्रॉब्लम को उसी तरह से सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं जिस तरह से आप सॉल्व करना चाहते हो। तो वो सॉल्यूशन विल बिकम योर आइडिया। आई होप आई एम क्लियर। Problem prognosis, idea discovery, logical reasoning is extremely important. So this is one of the things when we talk about foundation of data and logic. Doesn't matter you use AI or you don't use AI. In entrepreneurship and startup, idea discovery is the fundamental and it is a part of data. क्योंकि आपको जब तक डेटा और लॉजिक आप नहीं लगाओगे वो आगे काम नहीं करेगा। I'm telling you, the best to best ideas will die if this discovery process is not done properly. So, and that is what the example I gave you, predicting the success of an idea before even it works. बिकॉज इसमें आपको कुछ नहीं लगेगा, आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन है, आपके पास में सर्वे साइज है, सैंपल साइज है, आप आराम से बना सकते हैं। नाउ इट कम्स एन आइडिया। अब आपके पास में आइडिया है, आपने कहा कि हाँ आई एम 100% श्योर दिस आइडिया इज देयर, मुझे ये आइडिया करना है, और मुझे अब इस आइडिया के लिए आई वॉन्ट टू यूज हिट एंड ट्रायल और ट्रायल एंड एरर। व्हाट इज ट्रायल एंड एरर प्रोसेस? ट्रायल एंड एरर में आपको क्या करना है कि ये मुझे ऊबर बनानी है, या मुझे जोमेटो बनाना है फॉर बर्गर्स, या मुझे कोई एक ऐसी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करनी है कि हिंदुस्तान में रोड्स बहुत खराब रहती हैं, ब्रोकन रहती हैं, कोई इस तरह का मुझे एआई सॉल्यूशन बनाना है कि कोई भी बंदा टूटी हुई रोड देखे उसकी पिक्चर ले डाले, और विद इन 24 आवर्स में गवर्नमेंट की या जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है ऑटोमेटिकली आए, उसको फिक्स करे और उसका बिल गवर्नमेंट को दे, गवर्नमेंट उसको पे करे, सारी प्रॉब्लम ही सॉल्व हो जाएगी, हिंदुस्तान की रोड टूटी हुई मिलेगी नहीं। एनीथिंग एनीथिंग क्रेजी यू कैन थिंक ऑफ, राइट? अब क्या करना है? तो ओल्ड डेज में क्या होता था, आपके पास आइडिया होता था, आइडिया का आप क्या करते थे, आपको सॉफ्टवेयर टीम ढूंढते थे, मार्केटिंग टीम ढूंढते थे, सेल्स की टीम ढूंढते थे, ये सब आपको करना पड़ता था, राइट? नाउ विद एआई, थिंक अबाउट वन थिंग, आप लोगों में से जो लोग सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग करना चाह रहे हैं और सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग ट्रेडिशनल वे में करना चाह रहे हैं ना, फॉरगेट, सारे जॉब्स खत्म होने वाले हैं नेक्स्ट 2 साल में। इंफोसिस के आधे लोग बेंच पे बैठे हुए हैं अभी भी, आज की डेट में। इंफोसिस वाले उनको एआई पे ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, हाउ टू यूज एआई। सो थिंक अबाउट वन सेकेंड, अगर आपने एआई की स्पीड से अपने आप को चेंज नहीं किया, तो यू वुड बी सिटिंग ऑन द बेंच इवन आफ्टर ग्रेजुएटिंग फ्रॉम बेस्ट टू बेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट इन द वर्ल्ड. So you have to outpace AI in order to control it and use it so that your employer or your potential customers, or if you start your own startup, you can use those tools to aid your idea, to make it successful. I will give you an example and I will show you a real time how I use it. There are probably 100 application right now. अगर आप ओपन एआई आपने सब लोगों ने काम में लिया होगा, चैट जीपीटी काम में लिया होगा, चैट जीपीटी पे टाइप कीजिए व्हाट आर द टॉप 10 प्रोग्रामिंग टूल्स फॉर बिल्डिंग माय ओन सॉल्यूशन, रेप्लीट आएगा, क्लाउड आएगा, देयर आर सेवरल ऑफ देम, आपके सामने आ जाएंगे। आपको क्या करना है, आप उस पे जाइए। मैं आपको करके बताऊं क्या, यू विल लाइक इट, करके बताता हूं। देखो, रेप्लीट हम लोग काम में लेते हैं, आप लोगों में से पता नहीं कितने लोग काम में लेते हैं कि नहीं लेते हैं, बट मैं आपको करके बताता हूँ। ओके, परफेक्ट। तो देखिए, आप रिप्लीट का मैं आपको एग्जांपल, सो आपने डिस्कवरी कर लिया है, प्रॉब्लम प्रॉब्लम है, आइडिया आपको है आपके दिमाग में, राइट? तो लुक एट दिस वन, ओके, रेप्लीट। नाउ थिंक अबाउट इट, जो मैंने आपको पहले बताया था, सॉफ्टवेयर टीम लगाओ, टाइम दो। आपको पता नहीं, सॉफ्टवेयर टीम डिजाइनर हायर करते थे लोग पहले, वो यूआई बनाता था, फिर हाथ से बनाते थे, फिर कंप्यूटर से बनाने लगे। वो सब करने के बाद में आपको उसकी स्क्रिप्ट लिखते थे, उसका मैनुअल लिखते थे, ट्रेनिंग करते थे, उसके बाद में सॉफ्टवेयर निकल के आता था। महीनों लग जाते थे, तब तक वो कॉन्सेप्ट ही पुराना हो जाता था। आपके साथ में तीन और आपके ही दोस्त हैं जो सिमिलर प्रोग्राम लेके आ जाते थे, आपका वो आइडिया ही खत्म हो जाता था। नाउ थिंक अबाउट द स्पीड, एआई की स्पीड। आपको आइडिया आया, हमने दूसरे दिन ही हम इस वेबसाइट पे गए, replit.com पे, हमने वहां पे सिर्फ इसके असिस्टेंट को ये बोला, जैसे मैंने अभी ये बोला, मैंने इसको बोला, हमने ये पूरी बना ली थी, इसका जैसे ये हमने बनाई। अब एनीबडी कैन गो टू ब्रेक टाइम पिज्जा वेबसाइट एंड ऑर्डर अ पिज्जा, लाइक। अब मैंने इसको बोला कि प्रोसीड टू चेकआउट, proceed to payment, all of this software I have created within 24 hours without anything। मैंने कभी कोई, मुझे नॉलेज नहीं थी, ना उस लड़के को नॉलेज थी। हमने सिर्फ इसको बोला कि हमको ये इस तरह की वेबसाइट चाहिए जिसमें हमारे ऑर्डर्स आ जाएं, किचन डिस्प्ले आ जाएं। इसमें हमने आज ये अपना एक इन्वेंट्री का इसमें ऐड कर दिया। ऑल ऑफ दीज ऑथेंटिकेशन, एवरीथिंग, द एंटायर सॉल्यूशन ही हैज डेवलप्ड। अब जैसे मैं इसमें लिखता हूं कि change the theme of this website to more vibrant. Okay, think about it. सिर्फ मैंने इसको बोला है, right? Look, what does it say? Working. This is AI. Look at the power, look at the speed. This company is already couple of $1 billion. अभी 1 साल हुआ इस कंपनी को लॉन्च हुए, रेप्लीट को। इसके बारे में पढ़ना, इसका एक यूट्यूब वीडियो है, बहुत ही जबरदस्त। This is going to be another $1 trillion company very soon. They already have over 56,000 applications on their platform. See, इसके कलर्स अभी चेंज हो जाएंगे। Find theme, color variables and style configuration. Decided on vibrant color palette. Perfect. I can see the current theme is quite muted with warm cream background and neutral colors. Let me transform it into a vibrant, energetic theme. I'm not doing anything. Everything is being done by the system, right? This is AI. Now think about it. Why do you need a software engineer? I'm not a software engineer. I'm just a dreamer. I'm just a startup guy. All I want to do it, I want to write down what I want. And this AI is giving me very close to what I want or even better than what I want. But you can't hear me? You can't hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir, your voice is completely audible.
See, what does it say? It's thinking. New vibrant color. See, now it tells me background, primary, secondary, chords, borders, dark mode, everything. Now it will ask me, do you want to? And look at the magic. You see, it's automatically doing it. And now it tells me 2 minutes of work. Now something for this, and then how much it is going to cost me? 46 cents. Think about the cost. Think about the time. Think about the headache. I don't need any people. So how easy it is for an entrepreneurs and startups. You want to do a startup, you just need to do a good idea discovery call, come up with a fantastic idea and do a hit and trial right here. And you can literally make it work. This idea, this will help you the way you want to do it, and it will change the whole thing. You can test it. Now look at this website and compare it to the website which I had previously. The whole thing changes. And I can see the changes. I can see the code. I can see the database. I can do everything, whatever I want to, a website will have. So look at the code and I can publish it with I can republish it and look at the code. So if you're a software engineer, you can also change the code and everything. And this is all free for testing. You can just use this tool. Similarly, there's another tool called Cloud, and I use that also a lot. So this is my last. We will do some more. Where is my top three things? Okay, okay, perfect. So that is the point I was trying to make. That when we talk about entrepreneurship, startup fundamentals, data extremely important. Programming and tools. What do you want to use? Software. Software is extremely important, but before you do softwares, use ChatGPT. I always use ChatGPT to create, to verify and audit my thought process. So if I have a thought process, somebody wants to ask a question, essay, raise hands. No. So here is some work I would do. I want you guys to do this. Use some of the programming tools, whichever you use. You can use Replete, you can use Cloud. Cloud you can do free of cost. Use Chat GPT, but try to do the things more interactive, not just the basic thing. And more interactive means use APIs, use merchant account, use third party integration, whichever comes, whatever the idea comes in. If you want to, if you're developing an idea into healthcare, you want to connect with the government of India, they have big data, or they have a data tools available on their website, which you can connect using Replete or using Cloud. All of these datas can create a full integrated solution for you. The only thing you have to do is you would need innate wisdom before you implement all of these programming tools. Because what happens, it's much easier for me to implement these things because I have a 22 years of experience behind me, compared to you since you are just graduating from the college, if you try to solve some problem using one of those tools, you can use some of the wisdom these tools have, but at the same time, you would also need to use and verify the data which these tools, sometimes these tools, they do hallucination. So like they assume the things. And that is what the third thing which I was talking about is critical thinking. So human intelligence will always supersede AI. And this is the area where you would need to control AI with your critical thinking. And I'll give you an example. Now, think about when we talk about the AI bias in America, big data is huge. There's a different set of data which is available there. We don't have that data in India. So there is a geographical bias. The data which is more relevant, which has better outcome in US may not give you. So AI, if you type, let's say type, give me about any idea, let's you do the survey, what kind of data will it pull mostly? It will pull the data from America or from the countries where it has the data from. Now, it is not necessarily the results of the same data are relevant in Indian context, right? Because it has a geographical bias. So you have to figure out a way. That's why there are so many different type of AI solutions. That is the reason India is developing its own AI backbone, because eventually this geographical bias will stay with AI. And only the local AI solutions or local AI neural networks would make more sense in order to avoid these geographical bias. So, critical thinking about AI, logical reasoning, that's where you use your human intelligence. Understand its limitations. As I said, right now, this particular piece, Break Time Pizza, I showed you, they created a pizza website with the geographical bias, America, that it might be relevant in America. So at some point, if you see, if you would have read, it gave you an option to use a Stripe. We don't have a Stripe in India. We have PayU or we have something else. So, but it is hallucinating. It's just using Stripe. Am I okay? I see some pictures here. It's 8-7. So I have just three more examples and then I'll wrap it up. So think about this hallucination where it is taking the examples of American context, but it may not be relevant in India. Then ethical and responsible AI practices. Now you have AI in your hand doesn't mean you can create anything you want. And you know what I mean. Try to create anything wild you want. AI will not create it for you, because even OpenAI or even AI, they have their own ethical and responsible practices, policies, and even moral ethics that it will not answer any questions related to hate rate. Um, even try to find out the difference between Grok and ChatGPT. Do you know what's the difference? Grok picks the data from social network Twitter and it shows that data. Whereas ChatGPT or Perplexity, they try to find Google data or the data which are in their open network, and they try to generate an outcome based on those data. So do this exercise for me. Use the same question and give that challenge to 4 different AI websites. And I can give you the name. You can use I think there is an Indian website called Mawsum. Let me see, Mawsum or Manus, manus.in, Manus. Try that. Use the same data in Manus. Use the same data, same question in ChatGPT, and use the same question in Copilot, which is Microsoft. You would find a different interpretation of the same question. Now you can always say when the data is same, they are pulling the big data from the same kind of data which is available. Why the interpretation is different, right? Why the interpretation? And that's where it comes that understand the AI limitation. The output is has some kind of bias based on the local condition, based on your understanding, based on the understanding at that moment for that particular AI product. So a lot of people are trying to find AI hiring, use AI hiring as a tool to exactly match the habits of a person, or the qualification of the person or his passion, and match it with the potential employer. Very easy tool, right? Anybody can develop it, but it is very difficult. AI is not able to always give you those numbers. Similarly, with the different dating scenarios, there are dating websites which are using AI to find the perfect match, but they are not able to do it in most. I'm saying 90% they do a good job, but for the 10%, you have to use your own critical thinking and fix the AI. Well, good thing is AI is fixable. So if you don't like something, you can fix it and you can use it to create a different outcome. It may be better, it may be worse, but you can keep trying and it gives you a better outcome every time you use. So with this, I would say that today's class, I covered again the first big why, three B's, and then the three top things which you want to do before you jump into AI. But you really need to know foundation of data and logic, programming and tools, and critical thinking with your human intelligence. I hope you like the session. If you have any questions, I can take the questions now. I can take any question. You can ask me anything.
Hi Kunal, this is Aditya.
Yeah. Oh,
Hi,
Aditya,
thank
you
you.
are in the court?
Yes,
Okay, I'm
yes,
glad.
yes. I joined a little late, but I was in another call. But thank you so much. I mean, last 20 minutes I was on the call. This is so much informative for me. I'm sure the students benefited from the entire. I need to see the recording if it's possible, or make you rerun this session. This is really good, and thanks to
Well, I
you,
hope
for
these
doing
students.
this. I hope we will do more of these. So, no, thank you so much for doing this. So, Sareshma is a great leader and she's leading the entrepreneurship program
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah. Is
university.
she here?
I think
Sarvesh?
she's on
Sar-
the call.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi. How are you,
Yeah.
sir?
Hi, I am great. I also wanted to thank Aditya sir because without him, I don't think this would have been possible.
No, no.
Like, he made sure
Yeah, we
that we
wanted to
could
do this for a
get.
long time. Finally, she
Yeah,
she she was able to touch base with you and get it done because this is good.
Uh-huh.
But I'll let the students, ask
Hi, if
questions.
they
I'm
have
sure they
any
have a lot
question,
of questions.
I'm happy
Yeah.
to answer any
Is everybody
question.
unmuted, Sarishma?
sir. Actually, we keep the settings as such. We keep them on mute because
Yeah,
otherwise
but now
that
that
will
it's
do
the session is
anything.
over, if
Now,
they want to ask
yeah.
questions, they
Yeah,
can unmute and
we
ask.
will we will change the settings and we've also asked them to put the questions in chat box.
Yeah,
So
So
perfect.
requesting you to please
somebody
ask.
somebody asked something already. Let me see. Sir,
Yeah.
what type of data would you use and how would you process it for predicting the path on a map? Which map are you talking about? The GPS that the user will choose based on his general choice. How can this be? Explain me a little bit more what you want to know. SG, how can this be implemented? What inputs will the model get? So, the deep neural networks, the input is exactly what the data you would put. And then this processing goes just like more churning, right? And then you put the logic. What do you want to learn? No. And then the outcome would be based on that logic. So input is the data. Logic is your that the logic which AI does, and then the outcome is the if the outcome is different, I told you change the logic. But the logic will only work if the data is as good as the data is, unless you're asking something specific which I'm not able to understand. You can rewrite this question.
So everyone is unmuted. If they want to ask any question, they can raise their hands and ask the questions if they want.
Sure. Kriti or Karina. Rishabh Sharma. Sure. Karina. Karina Kapoor.
I
Bolo.
think Kirti has raised her hand. So
So I want to ask that in near future, what business models do you think which would revolve around AI and they would become sustainable like in future?
मैंने शुरू में आपको एक स्लाइड दिखाई थी ना, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ डीएनएन, computer vision, natural language processing, chatbots, translation, sentiment analysis, speech recognition, um, fraud detection, cyber crimes, stock market prediction, astrology, anything which human intelligence can't accomplish, you can accomplish using AI. Did you see this screen? I can share again.
Yes, please, sir.
You saw that screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, anything you want to do, you can do this using, these are the applications of DNN right now, and it will change. Everything will change. It's changing so fast. Once you understand the logic of these deep neural networks, you can do wonders. You just saw how we built this. One of our students built this break time pizza concept, right? He was so stuck to this in his mind, and he just wanted to do it, and he's doing very good actually. In last 1 week he opened up already the pizza place. He found the pizza guy. So the operation part you will always have to control with your human intelligence. But I'll give you an example. What we did is, by using AI, we are able to reduce the manpower. So it's a one man army now. Earlier, we used to have somebody pick up a phone, take the pizza order, or put it in the computer. Now, with the help of AI, we have come up with a solution that everything is just online. A person can go on his phone, order the pizza. It can show you the tracking, what stage pizza is in the oven, or it is tracking everything it can. So he put the technology, and it was so easy for him to deploy the technology that he was able to do it by himself.
Yes, sir.
So the physical labor would be reduced to probably 1%, I'm telling you, in next few years. But your human intelligence and critical thinking, because the more data it will come, the more complex the neural networks would be. The solution development may be easier, but you would need to use your critical thinking to come up with the better outcomes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, I think we had a not. Okay, go ahead, Rishabh.
Uh, Good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, actually, recently I've been building agentic systems using LangChain and LangFlow, as well as a bit of automation using N8N. Okay, so the thing is, there are so many limitations when it comes to building them. So, how will I overcome them as a student? Because you see, there are limitations regarding the main problem that I'm facing is the token usage that these LLM models require. So, usually, I either go with the open router or open source models that are free, but still, like, since the requirement is also high, so sometimes it just slows down or doesn't even work due to token usages. So how will I ever overcome them?
Because it costs money, right? The more tokens you use on the agents, the more it is going to cost. So that's why I said in the very beginning, if your why is defined, that why you are doing it, and then if you do your first three B's, then it will give a framework. Write down that framework. You remember in old days, people used to make UI, right? User interface on a piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
So come up with those, come up with the questions you want to solve. And then if you put those then it will minimize your cost. The more
Uh,
organized you are, it will minimize your cost. And once you minimize your cost, the usage of token would be reduced, right? Tokens are basically your
yes.
cost, right? The more
Yeah,
tokens you use, you have to continue paying for it. That's how the most agent system and assistant system works, right?
yes, sir. Sir,
Am I
actually,
right?
I even tried. Yes, sir. Actually, I even tried chunkings and all, like making it into parts so that it will use as less as possible, like the token usage, because chunking usually breaks it into parts rather than giving it a complete strings and all. But I made an agentic system for customer services and all. But the thing is, if the requests get very heavy, you can say a very long request, then it usually doesn't work. So,
So
like,
you
that's the only problem I'm facing.
break them into one feature at a time.
Hmm.
So when you used to make in the old days a solution, whatever is the most promising problem you are solving, first solve that. And then you come up with the extra feature. That's what I'm saying. So from the funnel, from top to bottom, it should come like this. So that's why when you will write down why you want to do, your why should be very, very, the more focused your why would be, the less it is going to cost you. And then you start with that, the focused approach first. If you are solving a problem of a delivery driver for picking the pizza, then just solve the delivery driver problem right now. Don't worry about pizza making or anything else. Similarly, find out what is your main problem you're solving. And that is why the idea discovery is very important. That's why I'm saying sometimes what happens, you're all over. You don't need to solve 10,000 ideas or 10,000 problems. You won't be able to solve it. You would be able to solve just one problem. Go baby steps. So pick that one problem, create a solution around that one problem. And then if that is successful, then find the problem which is supplementing it.
Thank you, sir.
It's, Mhm. Anybody else? Well, I hope everybody probably have enjoyed it. And then if you have always a question, I told you, you can always connect with me. I do a lot of online session on Aravali Hub. That's our Instagram. My son of India is my Twitter, and I have a LinkedIn profile. You can search me, Kunal Jain, HealthBots AI, and you would be able to connect with me.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you very much.
guys.
Yes, I'll share
Thank
your LinkedIn profile with the students, so they are going to connect with you. Thank you
Sure.
very
Yes,
much for
sir.
the session. Over to you, Isha.
Thank you so much, sir, for the amazing session. I hope that each one of us was really able to know more into the future projections and what AI is all about, the opportunities which are coming up in the future. And yes, I'm pretty sure that being a part of this amazing session, you guys got a deeper understanding of all what is going on in the industry and what all future opportunities you guys have. And yes, thank you so much for the session, sir.